Yo, what's going on? It's King Steph, and oh my god.
Oh my god!
We got some craziness on our hands. First of all, the opening chapter to this fight is unbelievable. The jackpot is revealed for Hakari and what he gets. And man, we have an epic fight on our hands in the Culling Games with Hakari versus Kashimo. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, first off, we got a cool cover page with Hakari right here. We got the music notes full of cursed energy. I thought it was just like a cool aesthetic for the cover, but clearly it was more than just that. Now, this fight opened up with Hakari showing off the rewards of his jackpot physically. He punches Kashimo, but even though Kashimo blocks with his staff, Hakari still sends him flying into those shipping containers, and he's leaving huge dents into them. And remind you, these shipping containers, they weigh over 6,000 tons. They're durable as hell. Like, these things can go years without taking any type of rust or damage. But he leaves dents into them. And even when Kashimo dodges, the impact of Hakari's dropkick still knocks over these containers. And I love how Gege is using the environment to kind of display strength and how they're maneuvering and fighting in between the containers. I think it's pretty cool. Now, Kashimo is still excited about this onslaught. He licks the blood off his nose, but he notices Hakari isn't really reacting to Kashimo's special property, Curse Energy. It's cool that we actually get a name for these Curse Energy effects, because I was hoping that we got a name. I didn't, because we had to like come up with different names ourselves. But naturally, when you attack with Curse Energy, you can block with Curse Energy in response. But with a special property, the opponent can still block a Curse Energy attack, but they'll feel the effects of the properties at hand. For example, Kashimo has electricity, Hakari has roughness or whatever. We all know the whole thing. But Hakari is feeling nothing right now due to sheer Curse Energy output and quantity, and Kashimo is wondering what this weird music it is that he's hearing and the music notes that we're seeing on the panels, which we know that now it's a part of Hakari's domain because of the pure love train, the pachinko theme machine. It's playing a music. And now I was actually glad to see what was coming up next with this, because it kind of was what I somewhat predicted was going to happen in a way. But Hakari says, if I win, can I get your 100 points? Kashimo without hesitation just says yes, but Kashimo still wants it for Sukuna, and Hakari gets this like feeling, and this instantly reminds me of Hisoka. Like, that was the first thing I got, especially with Hunter x Hunter coming back. I wonder if that was like done on purpose, but I don't know how long this was planned out, but that was like very reminiscent of like Hisoka, and he has the feeling of Curse Energy just surging through him. And these two are just delivering special grade level hands to one another. Punches, kicks, counters, the whole martial arts bag. During this back and forth, Kashimo thought Hakari lost the will to fight because of Hakari's face. But nah, Hakari is still attacking as usual. And I have to point this out because it was pretty funny. And it was a nice reference from Gege. But after Hakari delivers a punch to Kashimo, he hits the Michael Jackson. And I think it's safe to say Hakari has some of the most sauce in the entire series. And the noticing difference between this and like all the other battles, with maybe the exception of maybe a little bit, but Kashimo and Hakari genuinely seem like they're enjoying fighting each other, but in that crazy sorcerer type fashion that we know, i.e. Gojo the second time he fought Toji. Now, amidst this brawl, Kashimo charges up a thunderbolt and hits Hakari, taking off his arm. But while Kashimo goes in to pressure Hakari with some more attacks, Hakari grows his arm back and strikes him. And this is by far the craziest reveal in regards to the extension of a technique / domain. And with this, we now know why you just said before the game started that Hakari, when on a roll, is stronger than him. So when Hakari hits that jackpot, his prize is that during 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I don't know why 11 seconds specifically, but you know, it is what it is, Hakari gains infinite cursed energy. That's right, infinite cursed energy. And the song from Pure Love Train will play during this time. But here's a trick. Hakari isn't performing reverse curse energy. That's not how he grew his arm back, technically. The infinite curse energy that's flowing through him just on reflex does the reverse curse energy for him, does the reverse curse technique for him in order to avoid damage. In other words, during the 4 minutes and 11 seconds, this brother Hakari is immortal. And additionally, when the music begins to end and the curse energy starts to slow down, he can recover the curse energy during the 4 minute period by gaining more jackpots, which, long story short, this man can use infinite domain expansions while having infinite curse energy. And that's how the chapter ends, with him summoning Restless Gambler. What an amazing chapter from Gege and Jujutsu Kaisen. This is the benefit of building up characters and paying them off beyond expectations. Hakari and Kashimo, everybody so far that's been built up somewhat, it feels like it's been paying off, and we as the fans have been eating pretty damn good, man. Let's go ahead and get up into their thoughts. Man, what a fantastic chapter. But we gotta talk about Hakari's Jackpot. That Jackpot is insane. I mean, I see, I wouldn't be surprised if he was stacking up some jackpots while he was beating down Charles before he came here. But boy, I mean, it's similar to Yuta and Rika's 5-minute condition. Only difference is that the fact that Hakari can keep getting these infinite curse energy outputs, and he can just keep building and building to an endless amount. It's almost scary when you think about it, because like he's a monster. Like it's kind of like those cursed spirits in a way. I don't know why it reminded me of that. Just the way he grew back his arm and was just ruthlessly attacking Kashimo. It's so different from Yuta, because even though Yuta, he's attacking and he's very powerful, it felt like we know that Yuta isn't an aggressive person really at all. He's gonna do what he's got to do if he's taking down somebody evil, but he's not like out of malice and vengeance, you know. But with Hakari, it just feels like this is what he lives for. Like, these type of moments is what his character embodies. Like he likes being able to do this and like using his domain, which is even in itself a gamble. And him fighting someone on the level of Kashimo, who is like the strongest in the Culling game, which is also a gamble on his own life, because the fact that Kashimo can use his lightning bolts and they can instantly just take off limbs, if it hits his head, it's over. Like, that's how much of a risk it is just fighting him. And even on the counterpart with Kashimo, where he's been looking for someone around the Culling games on this type of level, it's so cool in the writing, in a sense that you don't need to drag something out to make it feel impactful, or make the audience, I should say the readers per se, building something up with this. We didn't need, even though I would have loved it, we didn't need a whole bunch of backstory with Kashimo before we got into the Hakari fight, or a whole bunch of backstory on Hakari before we got into his Kashimo fight. We didn't need any of that, or a bunch of people like telling us like, oh, we gotta wait for this. Like, it's a benefit when there's a type of series like this. It's written in a sense of you have to pay attention, or you're not really going to really appreciate the things that's happening on there. I just love it, and this is, to me, part of that too. Like, everything with Hakari built up from that one little chapter that we've been pretty much speculating like from the start up till now. It's great payoff, and the Jackpot is cool. It's OP as hell, man. You can't go wrong with it. Now, I do think Kashimo is going to counter. I don't know how, and I think it's going to be prevalent on Hakari getting these jackpots. And note, it's not confirmed that he doesn't have a domain, but I feel like Kashimo, it's just the fact that Gege wrote the fact that he has a short hit ability with his technique, that like a domain expansion, is almost kind of hitting that he doesn't need one. Now, I would love to see it, because like, I love Jogo's domain expansion. I love Dagon's domain expansion. Those elemental theme ones, I think Gege really knocks it out the park with those, because they're so simple, but he adds like one or two little things about them that makes them stand out. And plus, like, when we have Kashimo, which I feel like Kashimo, his domain would be the ones like a Gojo or a Jogo, the ones that we know that are like short hit, it's over, like those type of things. I feel like that would fit Kashimo more than something like a conditional domain, to where if he builds it up, then he can get these incredible payoffs. I don't think that's really him. I think he's more straightforward. So if he does have a domain like that, would it overlap Hakari's? And we do know the jackpots carry over, even if he does overlap it. I think it's a lot that we could still find out in the later chapters, but we are on break next week, so we gotta, hey, I'm not mad at that. Anytime Gege come back from break, it's like he just turns it up, like, because he's got that extra week of rest. And the last thing that I really want to tackle before we close this thing out is, now that Hakari has Restless Gambler, and we know about the music with Pure Love Train, I was also wondering, because I know I wasn't the only one, is would his domains, like the pachinko theme domains, change if he uses it? But I feel like with the music aspect of Pure Love Train, that might not be the case. I would personally love if it does change the theme, but if it's not, it's okay. It doesn't really bother me. It's more so like I would add even more of a cool factor to it if like the themes and everything and the whole scenarios, everything changes. That kind of actually adds even more of an effect, because you know the scenarios that he wants, like, you know, that type of thing, like knowing which storyline does what. I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's all I had to say about this absolutely 10 out of 10 chapter. Great chapter. Before we go on break, man, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about it. Like and subscribe. I'll holler at you on the next one. Peace.